This episode is brought to you by Pepsi Wild Cherry. Pepsi Wild Cherry is bursting with delicious cherry flavor and a sweet, crisp taste that gives you more to go wild for. Getting wild may look different these days, but whether it's opting for a solo Friday binge watch or a big night out, everyone can indulge in their wild side with Pepsi Wild Cherry. Also available in Zero Sugar. So grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
What's up, everybody? This is Brian here to tell you about our podcast, Bingetown TV. Our hosts include 7 best friends with a love for all things television. We cover a range of genres with a focus on fantasy and sci-fi, but also dip our feet into drama, horror, comedy, and pretty much anything we think is good television. We use the traditional deep dive formula for new live shows that are released week to week, but our calling card is our Rooks and Vets and Pitchtown TV series. Rooks and Vets pairs 2 of our hosts that have seen a show with 2 of our hosts that have not seen a show. Pitchtown TV is when we have a special guest pitch us a show by having us watch the pilot and trying to convince us to watch the rest. If you're craving more content on some of your favorite TV shows, then you should listen to Bingetown TV. Find us on our website at bingetowntv.com, the Apple Podcast app, Spotify, or wherever else you may find your podcast.
There's a party each and every year on Christmas Eve, where the fun and cocktail shrimp don't seem to end. Clark and Ralphie taking turns on the TV screen, laughing, singing, yelling with all of our friends. Well, it's Christmas, and everybody's gonna spread the holiday cheer.
In an act of solidarity, hey Dylan.
Hey Matt, how you doing, man?
I'm doing better than you.
Way better than me, man. Ladies and gentlemen, it happened. It finally happened. A few months ago, I was stuck in the house and Teddy had full-blown COVID, and I couldn't pay to catch that shit. Thursday, funny enough, we were gonna record a little bit, and I was like, dude, I'm just not feeling it. Let's try it later. And a little did I know that just a few hours later, I would be like, you know what, my throat hurts. Let me test myself. I ran 2 tests, both popped positive. I got the Rona, guys. I got the Rona. Mostly it's just been a really bad cough. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm very stuffed up. I'm going to do my best to not cough into the microphone or hit you with the sniffles too much. But we decided the show must go on. So we are definitely, we're going to do a short one this week. One of both of our favorite bands a few years ago dropped a Christmas EP that is the legendary Real Big Fish. For those of you who know any history about either of us, they should know that we are big fans of the Fishies for sure, man.
And but yet this was my first time listening to this.
Yeah, this was your first time listening to it. And I think I chose this basically because we were sitting there, we're bouncing around ideas, and Matt goes, why don't we finally do this? And as much as I love Real Big Fish, I was like, yeah, I agree to that because I don't think I have too much to bring to the conversation on this. Well, either one, honestly.
The other thing that makes a ton of sense, though, is like, what better soundtrack to summer than ska?
Exactly.
So it kind of fits into like, all right, we're in June now. We're dropping these June episodes.
Yeah.
Let's get some ska music going. So we'll just go through the order. You sent me the link of where I could listen to it. I don't do Apple Music, but it was on Spotify, so I did that instead.
That's good. My bad.
No, how dare you not know what I prefer to listen to music on?
Yeah, right.
So we kick this bad boy off with Skank for Christmas. Right out the gate, I'm going to put my money on the table and say this is the best song on this album.
100%. This is hands down my favorite song on the record. for sure. It kicks off with a banger. It's an original tune, and I think that's actually going to be a common theme here, where you're going to know that my favorite songs on here are original jams, and my least favorite songs on here are the cover jams. Like, let's just get those spoilers out of the way now, but I don't think they're very spoilery when you look at the cover songs on here, and you've heard my feelings, especially about one of them, regardless of who the fuck does it. But I Just Want to Skank for Christmas kicks us off, and how many of the people in your life have you ever said, I'm like skanking, and they give you that look of,
oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Especially as a kid, as a young Christian kid that loves ska music. I've told this story before. I didn't even know that skank had another meaning. So for my first AOL username was Skank for God, and
that is, oh my God, that's so close to Slut for God, and I wish your second screen name was Slut for God, because I think that would have been absolutely incredible.
But we'll talk about some of the things that I love about this. Beyond the fact that the lyrics are great, right? The horns at different points play some of Frosty the Snowman. They play some of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Aaron has a rap about eating reindeer to survive. And then they do a bunch of different references to songs. The two that I definitely caught were they did an At the Hop reference at one point, and then they do a Blitzkrieg Bop reference at one point. I feel like there's a third one that I didn't know what it was a musical reference to, and this album's not popular enough for Rap Genius to have any helpful information for me.
I think this song straight out the gates shows you that Christmas songs really lend themselves to ska covers, honestly. For sure. And even with this being an original, I think they do a really good job at melding a bunch of different stuff into one solid jam. And it is unfortunate that this is the first song, because you're not wrong. It's the best song on the EP for sure.
And I'm gonna, at some point, we're gonna talk about a very obscure Christian ska Christmas album by a band that only put out 2 albums, and one of them was a Christmas covers album called Bunch of Believers, or B.O.B. Their album was called Ska-la-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Great. Fantastic.
It's not particularly good, but it is the reverse of this Real Big Fish album, where the covers are far better than the originals that they put on that album.
Well, there you go.
And while we're talking about covers, let's just slide right in to our first, and maybe there are 2 covers that I genuinely did not like on this. And this was one of them. Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
Hey, has anybody seen Grandma?
Grandma got run over by a reindeer, walking home from our house Christmas Eve.
I wrote down, it's fine. Still not a personal favorite of mine. The music is fine. Just underwhelmed by the song in general, and that there is no good version of it.
I just hate this fucking song. There's nothing about this song I will ever like. I hate this song. There's nothing you could do.
My friend Matt recorded a cover of this that is the only version of the song I've ever liked, and it could be because it's my friend. It could just be like that blind loyalism to your friend. But his take was like, what if Jack Black sang Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer? And that's like the angle that he took. So like throughout the song, he's doing like the Rudy here. Well, no, it's like he's like, should we open up their gifts or send them back? Send them back! Ha ha! Like, it's like stupid stuff like that. But I'm like, all right, I kind of enjoy his weird little version of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. But beyond that, it's the only thing I'll say about the covers is that at least it ain't the original version.
That's it. That is literally the only thing you can say. I think if I never hear anyone sing Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer again, that would be the greatest moment of my life.
Let me ask you a question.
I hate that fucking song. Yeah.
Did you used to always hate the song? Because I feel like I remember that I liked it at a certain point as a small child, and then it's one of the few Christmas songs I remember genuinely having like a heel turn towards. Where like over a period of time, I was just like, this song kind of sucks.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever liked the song. Maybe I was indifferent to it, But I know that like Cartoon Network would constantly play like the cartoon version of it because they made like a movie based on this song. And I hated that, and I hate this fucking song, and I just there's just nothing about it, man.
There you go.
I was indifferent towards it at some point, but I never genuinely liked it, which is pretty weird because we've talked about some of the Christmas songs I like, and I like some funky ass Christmas songs that most people would hate.
I do listen to Crabs for Christmas every year because of you.
You're damn right you do.
All right, so let's talk about another cover. I would rank this on the higher end of the covers. Here's another spoiler alert. It's instrumental, so that does a lot of heavy lifting for me.
TIAA is on a mission. Why? Because 54% of Black Americans don't have enough savings to retire. So in collaboration with big-name artists like Wyclef Jean, TIAA released Paper Right, new music inspiring a new financial future. With 100% of streaming sales going to a nonprofit that teaches students how to invest. Stream Paper Right now and help close the gap.
Lickle Drummond Boy. I do not.
Boy?
I don't understand the name choice on this at all. But
me neither.
Little Drummer Boy, definitely a song that I actively dislike. When it's just a funky instrumental ska song, sounds pretty tight, actually. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I dig it. It's right up there with the Family Force 5 cover for me.
Yeah.
Which I know that you loved, right? Was that one of the ones you liked? I can't remember.
I can't even remember, and I re-listened to so much of it. Little Drummer Boy's look, all I can tell you is that Little Drummer Boy was definitively better than The Baby.
You're right. You're not wrong there. This is a good cover, man. It is strictly instrumental. There's nothing really much to say. It's if you took the music behind Little Drummer Boy and made them all horns and
skankified it.
Yeah.
We didn't even say the name of this album, by the way. The album is called Happy Ska-lidays.
Happy Ska-lidays. Can't believe we got past that. My bad.
But all right. So the other original, which is again easily the second best song on the album,
on here.
Whatever You Celebrate.
And I love the message. Yep.
Oh my God. I literally just wrote, love the sentiment of this song.
Yeah.
It's just a fun, catchy tune.
It is. It is such a good tune. Honestly, I know that this album leans towards like Christmas, but I feel like this song specifically could really kind of go anywhere in the year. I think it's a great song. It's got a great sentiment. It'll always remind me of, and I will get you to watch this movie one day, Matt, for this show, 8 Crazy Nights. It reminds me of the one line in 8 Crazy Nights where he says to the guy that works at the restaurant, Happy Hanukkah, and he's like, I'm not Jewish. And he's like, neither am I, but that doesn't stop me from celebrating the holidays. Like, that sentiment warms my heart.
That is Dylan. Oh man, you are the celebrate all of it.
Yeah, fuck it, man.
Yeah, let's do it. Whatever the good. This might be my least favorite cover coming up. Carol of the Beers. And my only problem with this is like it's a fun concept, but it's asking a lot to be 2 full minutes of this bit.
Full fucking minutes. You know what this shit reminded me of? So like there was a time in I'm not gonna say the early days of the internet, but like when the internet was at its like preteen phase, like in like 2001, 2002, and E-Bombs World.
This is some E-Bombs World shit.
This is some E-Bombs World shit.
Literally just like beer,
yeah, like beer. Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
Like yeah, I don't get it. Like maybe if I was the age I was when that shit like when E-Bomb's World was big, because I can't imagine myself watching that shit now and being like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, I would say that I would listen to their cover of Grandma's Got Run Over by a Reindeer twice before I would re-listen to Carol the Bells once.
I agree, like, which is crazy because I, again, hate that fucking song.
We close on a song that I have said before that I love this song. I'm sure we're going to talk about a bunch of different versions of this song, but Old Lang Syne, man. I've pretty much never met a version of the song that I didn't love, and this is no different. There's something about, I mean, you know, shit old acquaintance, that part's always beautiful, but man, when you have those good recordings where they hit that like for Old Lang Syne, like you're like, if you have like a nice band backing it up, it's a fucking beautiful moment in music.
Yeah, for sure. And this one, like this version at like the 1:15 mark has a sweet horn solo. Like, I don't know, it's not a saxophone. I think it might be a trombone, but like there's just that, and he's just getting funky with it, and I love it. I love it. I love the beginning with the needle drop where you're hearing it through like a phonograph, and then it moves into the full band doing it. Auld Lang Syne, again, just like you said, I don't think I've heard a version of this that I didn't like. The only thing that I don't like about the Relient K one is they talk over it, which I understand why, but I do enjoy all versions of this song, honestly.
Well, Dylan,
dude, that's Happy Ska-lidays, man.
That's Happy Ska-lidays. It was a short one, and Dylan, I appreciate that you pulled yourself from death's clammy hands to come and sit Real Big Fish with me. Possibly, who knows, could be the last episode ever of Christmas 365.
Oh God, don't say that, man. Yo, so out of nowhere the other day, this was actually yesterday, I'm sitting on the couch in the morning feeling like death, and I get a random message from someone who works at the theater that I know, and she's like, I heard you are stuck at home with COVID. Oh my God, how are you feeling? And I told her, and she's like, you sound like you're making out better than me. I dealt with blood clots, and I had to go to the hospital. And I'm like, why the fuck are you telling me this? Like, I all of a sudden blood pressure shoots up. I'm fucking freaking out.
Yeah, people don't fully understand anxious people's process.
No, dude, don't tell me that at all. But meanwhile, you're like, this is gonna be the last episode of Dylan's dying.
Listen, I say that with a giant goofy smirk on my face. If I thought that you were even in remote danger, I would have been like, we can't record. Not when my little guy is sick.
I wish I could come give you a big old hug, buddy.
Please don't touch me for at least 2 weeks.
I got you. No, thankfully, like I said at the beginning, Thursday night I went home. My throat was just really sore, and honestly, I didn't think I would even test positive. I was like, let me do this just to be sure, because I had a big weekend plan. I was supposed to go chaperone the 6th grade trip to Six Flags yesterday.
No,
I know.
You missed Six Flags.
I know. And then tonight I was supposed to go take my sister and Teddy to see Harley Poe, and I tested Thursday just to be sure, and in one big swoop, all my hopes and dreams this weekend were pulled away from me.
You know what? There's a lot of people in this world who would actively just not do anything and convince themselves that they were fine. So
yeah, and I appreciate you
for putting your own enjoyment at risk for the sake of other human beings.
And it's unfortunate. There's a lot of factors that go into it. Like, again, I don't want to get anybody else sick, but my sister, she just had prom last night, and I know she's got a ton of stuff coming up. She graduates on the 1st. I'm not trying to get her sick. Like, I'm trying to keep kind of everybody around me safe. For the most part, yesterday I was dealing with a lot of sore throat and headache. Today it's pretty much just been coughing and stuffy nose. So much so that, as I told you and I told Teddy, I'm like, I'm going to go for a walk. Like, I need to just move, because I think one of the problems with when a lot of people get sick, yes, you need that rest, but I think just staying in one spot isn't always beneficial as well.
No,
so I was like, you know what?
Let me drive a homeboy insane.
Exactly. Let me get up. Let me get moving. And honestly, on my walk, I started to feel a lot better. So 12,000 steps. So I got home and I'm like, all right. And as soon as I hit the front step, I was like, fuck, now I don't feel good again.
Yeah.
Of course. So I hopped in the shower, got my water, kind of just rehydrating. And this is day 3. And I've heard, like, day 3 is the hardest. And that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. Thankfully, I haven't had any issues with my taste or my smell, as much as it would help me lose a few pounds.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Look at this
man.
badass though. He's like, yeah, they say day 3 is the hardest, but I got in 12,000 steps and podcasted it, no biggie. Just needed a shower and some water. It's all good.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, for all you fucks in the hospital. I'm just kidding. Listen. This shit's still real, man. And that's one of the big problems that I'm having is I feel like that this wouldn't be something that we would have to have an issue with if people had just taken it seriously from the fucking beginning. Yeah. And all I keep hearing when I tell people that, like, hey, I'm sick, they're like, oh, it's getting bad again. It's ripping through again. And I'm like, okay, why are we not talking about that? Like, why is nobody actually making mention of that? Nothing's being done. So, I mean, here we sit, dude.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well,
it is.
On that,
we won't get into it.
On that holly jolly note,
yeah, man.
Happy Ska-lidays.
Happy Ska-lidays, Matt.
Oh, whoa, oh, now we won't stop till the big ball drops on New Year's. Have a happy holly, have a great holly, have a merry happy holiday.
Hey, do you have an idea for a podcast but don't know where to start? Or do you have an already existing podcast that you want to take to the next level? Well, check out WeKnowPodcasting.com. From concept development to theme music to editing to logos, WeKnowPodcasting.com is a one-stop shop for all things pod. Don't hesitate to hit us up. We're very nice.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network. You're listening to the Geekscape Network.